All right, guys, so for some of you guys, I know upper body strengthening is something you're interested in with running. And we don't focus heavily on upper body strength just because it is pretty small component to running that, it's hard for me as a pro runner just because most pro runners don't do any upper body stuff at all. So not super important, but it can be important. And I always tell people, I recommend upper body weights if you feel like it's holding you back while you're running, right? Like if you feel like my form is breaking down, my upper body form, my arm carriage is breaking down, or my arms just feel really tired when I run, then I'd recommend this exercise. I'm gonna show you guys now, the first exercise I'm about to show you. And then the second exercise I'm gonna show you guys is something that is more kind of form related that I might have prescribed to you guys if I noticed your shoulders coming in like this, right? And you're kind of breaking down and collapsing in, okay? So the second exercise is gonna be about this, okay? So that's how we want you to run. But the first one I wanna show you guys, it's actually helpful not only for strengthening, but also for arm form. I used to do this when I was in high school, and I would put on some Rocky music or something, go into a bathroom, lock the door, of course, behind me because I was embarrassed to do it. But I'd get 5-pound dumbbells like this one. And so literally I'd stand in front of a mirror, instead of a mirror here, and I'm just cycling through my running form, right? And so I'm just having my arms move the way I want them to move when I'm running. We've talked about running form before, right, guys? So we want a little bit of flexion in here, right? We don't want stiff and no flexion. We do want a little bit of flexion there. And obviously we want straight up and back. And also too, remember that the slower you're going, the less arm action you should have, right? When you're walking, your arms are down here, they're not moving a whole lot. And the faster you go, the higher and higher they come to where you're sprinting, you're like this, We don't want you guys doing easy runs like this, right? So your arm carriage should change based on your speed. But for most people, you're talking about marathon pace, it's somewhere in here, right? And so what I like to do strengthening this way specifically is to work on form, but also too, it's this is the most specific way you can strengthen your arms for running, right? This is what you're doing all day long, right? When you're running your marathons. So you're just working on your form, and it will get hard. So like I said, if I do this for 5 minutes, when I was running, it'd be really hard for me because my arms were super weak. Now I'd have to use more weight. And you can obviously change the amount of weight you're using, If 5 pounds is too much, you can't get through a couple minutes, just increase the weight, decrease the weight, however you need to. So that's just simple, I don't even know what you call this, arm carriage weights. And like I said, let's just shoot for 5 minutes in front of a mirror, working on form, working on strengthening that specific arm carriage position that we want to reinforce for running, all right? So that's to strengthen your arms. And a lot of that, right, is biceps. You can see your bicep is kind of flexing a little bit. It's also a little bit of forearm in here and a little bit of shoulder, but a lot of it's biceps. So I'm gonna set that down. So the next upper body exercise I want to show you guys, and there's a lot of different ways you can hit this. I'm gonna show you my favorite way to hit it, but basically it's a scapula retraction, okay? There's scapula back here, and a lot of people when they run, myself included, when I get tired, my shoulders would kind of come down in front of me, right? Really easy to do when you start getting tired. So we want you to be broad, open, so you can get full expansion of your lungs, get all that oxygen into your lungs. Also, just as a power pose position, you're much more powerful, confident when you're in this position compared to when you're like this, and your eyes come down, your confidence is coming down, you're running hurt, you're running scared. Not a good position to be in. We want to be here, okay? So we want to be like this. So you need to learn how to retract your scapula, okay? So you can do that through basically any type of rowing motion, right? So you can do bent over rows, where you're working your lats here. You can do pull-ups, Pull-ups is not as great because what I really want you guys to make the mind muscle connection is between how to retract that scapula. When you're doing pull-ups, it's more lats than it is retracting the scapula. So more like rows is what we're looking for. So what I'm gonna do here is I have a band. You don't have to use this type of band. You know what this type of band is. Ultra Fit Protex Resistance Tubing by Gopher. There you go. So, and you can put this around anything, tree, post, right? So just gonna come back in here, slight lean back into it a little bit. And notice the first thing I do is pull my shoulders back, okay? So I'm pulling my shoulders back, and I'm pretending like I have a pencil that I'm trying to crush between my scapula, okay? So, crush a pencil, and now from this position, I'm gonna do one arm at a time, starting with my palms facing down, and then I'm just gonna pull in palms up position, okay? And just a slow hold at the top, and really just trying to squeeze that scapula, okay? So go, do all one side, and then move to the other side, okay? This is as much about strengthening as it is about learning the mind-muscle connection of like when we talk about like shoulders back, like that's how you get your shoulders back. Like you don't just like, okay. Like we get it back through the scapular retraction, okay? So we're in here. All right, so those are the two upper body exercises I'd recommend for runners.